Welcome back to another episode of TikTok Famous Podcast. Today we have the pop powerhouse, Jaimie Steck, the singer, performer, and creator you definitely know from her viral one-time TikTok series about life behind the bar. With millions of views and a fan base that can't get enough of her hilarious and raw storytelling, Jaimie is now stepping into her full pop star era with her brand new single and music video, Red Rum. We're going to talk about her creative process, the ups and downs of going viral, what it really takes to reinvent yourself as an artist in the spotlight, and how she's bringing back the showmanship, spectacle, and soul of true pop icons. Get ready for big laughs, bold honesty, and serious inspiration, because this is what TikTok Famous is all about.
You're listening to the TikTok Famous Podcast, where viral fame meets raw reality. Join your host, Meredyth as she dives deep with your favorite creators to uncover the real stories behind the scroll, the highs, the lows, the algorithm chaos, and everything in between. This is not your average interview. This is the TikTok Famous Podcast.
Thank you so much for being here, Jaimie with two eyes.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was the number one thing I saw. I'm like, my name was spelled right. I'm like, yes. I'm really happy to be here.
Well, I'm so excited to talk to you. I've been watching you for years now. I've been following you since I got on TikTok, basically, because of your incredibly on point bar videos.
Yes.
What? They're so good. And everyone's different and everyone is on point. How do you do that?
So it's funny too. So bartending is the way that I funded my career. Like, back once I turned 21, I started bartending, and I love it too because I love fast pace, go, 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 and, interacting with people. But one of the things I do at work is anytime there's a situation that happens, I have like a little piece of paper and a pen, and I'll just like write little notes really quick about the interactions that happens. Because the funny thing about the bar videos is I'm explaining what's happening. I'm explaining situations, but they're so universally understood because it's like it happens all the time, but it really just comes from actual guest interactions that I have where I'm like, I have to tell this story because like you kind of slow blink for a second. Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, there was one I was watching the other day, and the girl was wanting a mocktail, but she wanted a mocktail martini.
Yes.
Yes. I was like, you're like, so what exactly do you want me to put in this damn cup? Like, and it's
like,
so true.
And I try to like, give grace because I know not everybody knows. Because I've also had people on the flip side order a martini, and they've asked me to make a double martini. I'm like, that's not a martini. It's a double. Like, okay. And I've also had people say to make martinis stronger when they're straight liquor, no vermouth, no nothing. And I'm just kind of like, and then you have to step back and you're like, okay, customer service, like guest service. Sure. I got you. But yes, that did happen where somebody wanted a mocktail martini, and I'm like, I got to assume it's the aesthetic because it's going to be water. There's nothing else I can do with it.
Or it's a cup of coffee with some espresso beans on top. I mean, there's not a bunch of ways to make this. Mm-hmm. How did you decide? Because I think that is so many people out there have a career or they have something that they're just doing in life. Mm-hmm. And how do you take what I'm doing in life and actually create a TikTok viral moment where you're tapping into the people that are watching and start putting it out there? Like that's a big jump for people.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. So I have always, like my entire life growing up, when I was younger, I was making home videos with my friends. I was using the like old school like movie editing software, like before iMovie. And I just love that. So I love creating content. I love editing content. I love everything surrounding that, right? So when it came to wanting to do TikTok, I really enjoyed that. Like I also kind of thought about YouTube, like the idea of filming things, making skits. Like I started acting when I was young. That's kind of how I
Oh,
started. So that's always kind of been like in me. But when it came to TikTok, I was doing my music, it was I hadn't gotten into TikTok yet. I wasn't getting seen in the way I wanted to, and I was talking to some people, and they were like, "Well, everything's about numbers. You got to get numbers up." And so I sat there, and I was like, "Okay, well, what can I do that's not necessarily music, that's fun and relatable, that could potentially get numbers or like grow my platform?" And so I can't oh, the first video that I did, I was like, well, let me do something relatable about bartending because that's how I'm funding my career. And also, it's something I'm doing every day. It's something universal. And a lot of people, I loved watching bar videos. Other people would too. And I think the first video I really made about bar was I was doing um, a skit about counting cash where, 20, 40, 60, 100, 20, and then there's a 50. And then all of a sudden it switches from even to odd. And you're like, 70, 190. And so I did that, and that was the first one, and I was like, okay, so I found a niche that works, but also I'm like relatable because I'm
yeah.
doing it every day, because I'm also the type that would work 2 jobs at a time, 6 7 days a week. And so being able to also make content off of what I'm experiencing every day was kind of the best of both worlds in that
Yeah.
situation. So
Yeah, I was watching one of your videos this morning, and because of course when you stalk someone's page, then their page comes up, which I love because then I get
right, right.
deeper because your bar videos, um, they're on the FYP. Like they are just that is your, in my opinion, your bread and butter. But what I'm
Yeah.
starting to follow now is kind of your girls girl content. I just watched the
Mhm.
FOMO video. You're on a retreat or a vacation with your friends, and you're talking
Yes.
about how now you want to stay home at night, like
Mhm.
we don't need to burn it down every single night, on a
Right.
vacation. But there's also that FOMO, like, oh my God, we're going to miss out on going out tonight. And you're really talking to women
Hmm.
who, or anyone who are kind of transitioning from, do we need to burn it down every night? Do we need to party every night? Like what that looks like and how that transition and how to really be in the present of
Yes.
whatever that is. And I love that all of your stuff, soup to nuts, is just so incredibly relatable and at the same time, oddly educational. Like
Which
literally.
I appreciate that. It really is just kind of like I'm the type of person where I like analyze things a lot. So I have so many like self podcast in my living room alone moments where I'll sit and I'll be like, okay, this situation, like let's discuss it. Let's go through like everything. But it's interesting with the video with the FOMO. I think the biggest thing, because it always helps me, is to hear a perspective where like no matter where you are in life, it's just nice to know somebody else who's also in that spot where it can
Yeah.
make you feel more comfortable with it. Because even with that, it's about balance. It's you don't have to go out all the time, but you don't have to stay in. Like it's really a big thing where it's like whatever makes you happy in this moment is what you need to be doing. And it doesn't matter who you were yesterday, it doesn't matter who you are tomorrow. It could be completely somebody different. But in the present, whatever makes you happy without hurting other people, obviously, but like whatever makes you happy in this moment is what you are meant to be doing and it's what you should be doing. So that's
Yeah.
really that's important to me.
Yeah, and I think that so many people are trying to find themselves right now. We have so much education coming in from social media, education that we would never be privy to. And that's the one thing I love about TikTok is we could get like a psychology degree, you
Yes,
know,
absolutely.
by way of so many educators. We're being educated by Black, Brown, and Indigenous people. We're being educated by just every facet. And the more we talk, the more people like you talk and explain, because we're going to talk about your music career here.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of people, not totally myself, but when I started seeing your music videos coming across, a lot of people go, oh, Silver Spoon. Oh, now she's doing music. Oh, isn't this the
Ex-
way,
mhm. Mhm.
And I love especially that you're here to talk about the fact this shit that you're doing, these videos that are high end music videos, by the way, they are
Thank you.
stunning,
Thank you.
stunning. excellent production value, excellent sound, excellent everything. You're self-funding it.
Yes. Hmm. And a big thing about that too, which I'm sure we'll get into, is so my thing for myself is like I grew up on the Janets, the Madonnas, the Britneys. I'm very, very heavily into the showmanship. And that's something I feel like we are missing now that we had in tenfold years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And so my big thing is choreography, production, dancers, and even though I don't have tens of thousands of dollars and I'm self-funding myself, I always have to make sure that everything I put out is to a high enough value that you can see what I'm trying to give. It's not a tell, it's a show. And
Yeah.
I will never forget when I first started my very first music video. It was a song called Full Moon, so long ago. I think it was like 2019. It was very long ago. But I remember I wanted to do a music video, and the people that I was around at that time were like, oh, well, it doesn't have to be super expensive. You can just get a photographer or a videographer, go on a rooftop and just sing. And I'm like, but that's not my thing though. That's not the show. Like you can do it and it would have been cheap, but you wouldn't have seen like the showmanship that I'm trying to provide. And then I ended up getting a music video that was kind of like a flash dance homage in a way, and I was able to do it for very inexpensive because the director that I was working with, I saw his videos. His name was Zane, gorgeous, glossy, but he was like, I've never worked with an artist that dances herself, and I really would love that. And I ended up getting a video that was so visually stunning, so fun, but it was just in like a photo studio in LA. But it was interesting because all of that to say, from the very beginning, I was like, I could cut corners with cost, but I can't because I need to show everybody. And that's the same thing with dancers. I will pay everybody full price. Anything you ask, I will pay. I will never ask for discounts because I want to make sure that everybody is given exactly what they deserve and they don't take cuts just for me. Like I need to make sure that everybody is taken care of so that I can be properly taken care of, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, and it shows. Like when I was just showing my daughter and her boyfriend one of your videos, I'm like, I have to show you who I'm going to interview
Yeah.
next week because I was so proud to have you on. And their like eyes were like, "What?" I'm like, "No, look who I'm interviewing. This woman is wild. Like this is crazy because your videos and everything about them are so incredibly high end. So
Mhm.
incredibly high end. Like it is MTV on steroids." And I was looking at it, I'm like, "Okay, sold her soul. She's got backing. Good for her." And
Yeah.
she's doing this other thing. Like, and to find out this morning before we hit live that you're self funding this
Mhm.
just brings it to a whole new level. And I commend you for the amount of professionalism and the love that you clearly have for music. And the idea that you've always kind of been a performer speaks to this is that it's like you've been kind of walking this journey to get here your whole life, and now all of this is coming to fruition. So huge props to you. And if everyone's out there, you can find her stuff, Jaimie, on YouTube.
Yes, it's
Before I
not.
forget to say that, it'll be
That's
in the
okay.
show notes, of course. So where is family and friends when it comes to all of this going viral across platforms and really stepping into your dream? A lot of people have dreams, but to accomplish and get to this point at such a young age, like what the hell are they saying about it?
I mean, my mom is literally, well, I come from a very artsy family. So my dad is an illustrator, and my mom, she did acting back in the day, but she's literally the most eccentric person I know. She was the one that when I was in elementary school would like go on the morning announcements in like different characters to like talk about a food drive, talk about an event. Like everybody knew her. Like I remember there was one, I can't remember what it was for, but it was like I think we would have spirit nights where you would get like a half off. And she had a character that even to this day, people I went to elementary school are like, oh, your mom was the half off lady. Cause she would come in and she'd like have a hat that was half or like a sweater that was half. And like, so she's always been like that. And my family could not be more supportive. They're constantly doing whatever they can to keep me going, which it's funny too because I can't see myself doing anything else. Like that's the
Yeah.
funny thing about this is, I put a lot of hard work into it, but it's simply because I can't imagine myself doing anything. Like when I see performers on stage, I always say this, when I watch like the Blonde Ambition tour, when I watch the Dream Within a Dream tour with Britney, I don't want to be them. I want to do what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
there's like a fire in my stomach where it's like I need to be doing that. So that's kind of, and like it's kind of like a cheat code in a way because it's like I got to do it. Like it's what makes
It's
me
who you
happy.
are. Yeah, it's
Yes.
who you are. There is no option. I always tell people when they're talking to me about like career advice, I'm like,
Mhm.
and you hear it all the time, right? Do what you love and the money will follow, right?
Yes.
But it's deeper than that. It's not just what you love, it's in your sinew, right? It's in your
Mhm.
DNA. There is no
Yes.
other option. If you have to bartend for another 20 years just to align yourself with these other projects of who you are,
Yes.
like that's it. Like that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? There's no other option and I love that. That's huge.
Yes. Yes. And that's
That's
like I
huge.
said, that's just what I've always done. And I always think too, because it's like people always say, it's like, yeah, it would be great if you like made a bunch of money from it. But I mean, I've been doing this for years and like I will work even now. Like I had another song that came out this past year because the bartending place I work now has line dancing. And so I was like, oh, I should go up with I've noticed that line dancing, a lot of line dancing songs are like Pitbull now, pop. Like it's a whole variety of genres. So I was like, I should do something too. And I had a song that I made called Rodeo that's kind of like a poppy version. And the whole point of the song is it's like you could be in a club, you could be in a barn, you could be anywhere. And if you know the routines, like everybody can come together and dance. And I have just been itching to do a music, like a full music video for it simply because I just really want to do it. So I'm like, yeah, I'll pick up those extra shifts. I'll work those doubles. I'm like, let's do what we got to do so that I can have my fun one
Yeah.
day of making this video and putting it out because I just love every aspect of it. Every point.
Will your when you work at a place, will they let you play your songs there?
So it's interesting. Yes and no. The place that I work has a database of songs. So I would have to go to like corporate and be like, can you add my song to the database of everybody? But when I did a song called Infamous, I did a music video for it. And the place that I worked, like threw me kind of like a celebration, like a release party, and they played the video twice on all
Mm,
of the screens for everybody to see. So they are incredibly um supportive as
supportive.
well and are
Yeah.
super great but also it's kind of it's hard too to kind of be like hi so I'm one of your employees can you add this random song like not a lot of people have heard yet just trust me just trust me just add it for me
Trust.
please but yeah.
That might be the next step. I mean, I was just watching a TikTok someplace and there was a guy, I don't even know, it might have been here in Chicago, and he said, I'm standing outside of this record studio playing until they invite me up. And I was like, "Ooh, I love that." Like ballsy,
I
you
love
know,
though
just
that's what's funny too. I would love to do something like that because it's hard because now with the music industry everybody is saying like if you're good, we'll find you. We don't take submissions, we'll find you. And it's kind of like, so basically that means either you luckily get super viral off of something or you're kind of out of luck. But I'm the one where I made my own like mock CDs and I mailed them to a bunch of people. But I want to be the person where it's like, I will walk into every single studio if I have to, every single record label. But I'm
yeah,
always just kind of hesitant because I don't know if that's something. But telling me that this person is doing it, I'm like, might just have to fly out and
yeah.
kind of sit somewhere and make myself known. But I'm totally down to do stuff like that. It's just kind of navigating what's allowed now in a way and what's going to get me kicked out. So,
Yeah, I mean, I look at it, so my husband worked for the White Sox, and there was this at the time, he worked for the Philadelphia Flyers, and there was this guy, and he would just email my husband and eat like every week, like, "I
yes.
wanna work there. I wanna work there." He was a super fan, and he wanted to do something like in arena, like the hype people and stuff like that,
Right.
and, my husband was just like after 6 months, he's like, "Fine. Fine, you have a job."
Yes.
And as far as I know, he still works there to this day. You know, sometimes you just have to be relentless because that
Mhm.
shows those people that you are relentless, that you
Right.
are willing to go that extra mile. So the way I look at it, you don't have it now.
Mm-hmm.
Can't fall off the floor, so to speak,
That's true.
so what the heck? When you were just talking about like knocking on doors, I'm like, she would be an amazing like Erica Jane opener, like just like, hey, wherever you play, I will be there singing and dancing. And I mean, there's
Yes.
so many opportunities of like getting yourself out there. And with social media, that's the thing about TikTok and Instagram. It's you have been given license to market yourself when
Right.
before you would have had to hire a PR agency and an agent and all this stuff to get anything seen by anyone. And I mean, was it Justin Bieber was like the first person that it was like, oh my gosh, this guy just put himself out there and got found. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I say go for it.
I know. That's I'm like I have the next couple of the holidays are coming up, and yeah, I do that too where it's funny too because I never think I'm doing enough. I'll do multiple videos a day, I'll be making music, and I'm still like, but if I don't edit my 8th video today, like I might have done 6, but what if I do 8? And but there is kind of a mindset too now, especially talking with you, which I'm glad too, because you kind of not opened my eyes, but kind of like lit the fire again, where it's like, we got to go full speed ahead now. Right now is the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, especially with what everything that you have out right now is so solid. Like
Hmm.
anybody that sees your stuff right now, like it's like, oh, this girl's already doing, like, we don't have to teach her. We don't have to teach her how to dance. We don't have to teach her how to perform because there's so many singers that are out right now in life that
Hmm.
would need to be schooled and choreographed and taught how to move and taught how to perform and how to move your hip and flip your hair and all the things that brings that pop art moment
Yes.
to the viewer, like that makes you just not want to take your eyes off a person. You already have that, and that can't be taught in my opinion. And so
Hmm.
I look at it and I'm just like, dude, like even if you do a small 20 city um concert,
Right.
tour, like what the hell? I got a guy, I'm going to have him on. I don't know if you've seen him. He's more like a 90s Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains singer. His name is Josh Hollenband. And like I hired him to come to my house and sing for a party, and then I just went and saw him in concert like 30 minutes from my house. He's got a full tour going on, and all of
Wild.
it's from TikTok.
Yes.
All of it's from TikTok. People are just hiring him to do, he gets paid tens of thousands of dollars to do these corporate shows.
Hmm.
They're
That's
like, yeah, they'll
wild.
just pay me whatever. Like they don't care. It's corporate. And he just goes up there and he sings. You're bringing a whole gosh darn moment to stage. You
Production.
know,
Yes.
it's a whole
Yes.
production. So, I mean, I just look at it and I'm like, you're already doing the do.
Hmm.
you know and now we
Right.
just need people to realize that, hey, hire me, I'll come do your holiday party, I'll come do your corporate event pre whatever the hell moment or a tour, because you've
Right.
already got it going on, like you're
That,
already no one needs to teach you shit.
that's I'm really appreciative that you say that because that was the biggest thing for me too. Because it's also like, I'm always very patient when it comes to things like this. You have to be, but it's
Yeah,
also kind of like sometimes when you're like, oh, because you're like putting it out. But that's a big thing with me where I'm like, you don't have to develop me. I already know exactly what to do. Like
yeah,
these are the videos that I can make because I know music videos unfortunately seem to kind of be a dying art in a way. There's a lot of creativity that's getting lost because people want to save money on things you don't really have to save money on. Like you can make more if you invest more, but the investing isn't there. But I'm like, if I can do like, you don't have to do $100,000 music video. Give me $100,000, I can make 20 music videos, 10
yeah,
music videos. Like it's not about the amount of money you spend. It's about how, which I've learned from music videos, it's about how strategic you can be with it. And that's something I've also learned with all of this is it's all about strategy because I remember there was one time that I was doing a music video and it was supposed to be like a blacked out room and these like mirrors because it was like a Chicago I like to pay homage to a lot of like classic dance films and things like that. But I remember that I do a full storyboard for everything. I send the
Wow.
storyboard. They're like, yeah, this is great. This is great. Okay, it's gonna be like $500 a mirror, and for 3 mirrors. So I pay for these mirrors. I get there. The very last scene is this scene, and I remember that the director was like, "Oh, so what's the next thing?" And I said, "Okay, well, if we refer to the storyboard and I show it to them, and they were like, 'Oh, you can't do that.'" And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm here. I paid for it. It's the last thing. They're like, no, in order to execute this, we're going to need a full 360 blackout room, 8 mirrors, a full day's like all this stuff, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, that one, we can't. And two, that would have been thousands of additional dollars. And we ended up doing it by hanging up like 3 black tarps and like sticking the camera through a tiny little slot for free. And like that's what I've learned, where it's like someone could be like, yeah, if you can't think outside of the box, you can drop $3,000 for this one scene, or you can hang up
Yeah.
3 black tarps and do it for free. So
Well,
yeah.
that's the one thing with your videos, your bar videos, is they're very deliberate.
Hmm.
They're very deliberate. Like you have your character, you have your, sparkly glasses or your, dialect change that, or whatever it is. And it really sets the scene for what we're about to watch. You know what I mean? And the server, you, and the customer, you,
Yes.
really become two different people who are inside of a conversation. And it's just fascinating because you learn from the interaction. The one that I watched the other day, I was dying laughing, was the person, I think they gave you $12 for an $11 drink, and you're
Yes.
like, "Thanks." And they're like, "For what?" Like, "Give me my dollar back." And you're like, "So you
Yes.
want your change?" And they're like, "Yes, I
Yes.
want my change. I gave you 12 for an $11 drink. Of course I want my change." And you're just like, but it's so relatable. And I think
Mhm.
that we're learning. I just did a video about going to a concert and these kids like trying to plow me over. And I'm like, bro, you were not here early. Like getting back,
Yes. Right.
And I think that there are a lot of younger people who don't get normal etiquette, normal, like,
Oh,
you buy a
yeah.
beer and that extra dollar goes with that beer. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
unless the change is 75 cents or like, up
Right.
there, like it's okay to tip for every single drink. And
Hmm.
bartenders are savvy. You did one the other day. The people were like, "We want our beers." And you're like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, we paid for 2 beers and they never gave them to us." And it's like, well, let me see who you got them from. It's the guy at the end of the bar. And you're like, "We don't have a guy bartender." Like, bartenders
Yes.
are savvy people.
Mhm.
Stop it with the trying to get one over on them. Like, you've done this before. Like, it's
Yes. And it's weird because it really is a psychology. You can pick up on people's tendencies. You can kind of, there's like an energy shift where you're like, because I also made a follow up to that exact one where I was like, there's just a delivery where you can just tell, like it's almost like a
a
snark,
LiDAR.
like a lidar. Yeah, it's like when somebody's trying to get someone over, it's almost like a smugness. Like you can like feel it versus somebody like with that, because that 100% was like a verbatim conversation that had happened. And eh, like if you had bought 2 beers from someone, walked away, I guess, for 20 minutes and then went up to a different person to tell, there was like it was kind of like a, well, yeah, they didn't do it. So versus if I feel like if that actually would have happened, there would have been a little bit more like empathy, like, hey, I'm so sorry, but like
Hey,
this
yeah.
person didn't do it. And then maybe if the bartender gave pushback, it would be like, well, no, like I paid for it. Like, no, I'm serious. But it wasn't. It was kind of like a, well, we didn't get it.
Yeah.
So, because there's also too when the customer's always right, even though it's supposed to be the customer's always right in a matter of taste, meaning like if you like, you can't say whether or not you like something or not.
Right.
Not the customer is always right. Period. That is something that has gotten a lot more extreme, where there is almost this confidence of like, you know what's going to have to happen if you don't give me what I want.
Right.
I'm going to
Right.
end up getting it. So then there's also that balance where it's like, do I want to pick this battle, or am I going to get embarrassed when they ask for a manager and the manager just gives it to them because it's like 2 drinks that they can easily just comp, and then I'm over here with egg on my face because I'm like,
Well, yeah.
well, you got it anyway.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. When you are taking your notes of like
Mhm.
conversations, are you like chomping at the bit to make that video? Are you starting to produce it in your head of how you're going to play it?
Especially when there's like a really good one. Like actually right now I can show you an example. This is one that I did the other night. Um, Sometimes though, like I'm obviously busy, so I can't sit and like detail all of it. I have to write like little tiny clues, and sometimes I have to sit there and really dissect what I wrote. Like
Right,
this
right.
says, like I just wrote what make her, but I know that means when people come up and they're like, "Oh, well, what did you make her?" And it's like a vodka cranberry, and they're like, "Yeah, no, I want one of those." It's like it's people, which is funny too, because the power of suggestion is so heavy in the bar industry. It very much, it's all about psychology. But
Yeah.
that happens a lot. They're like, "Oh, what'd you make her?" I'm like, "A vodka soda." "Oh yeah, I'll try that." It's like the simplest thing in the world, but just because it's like the first thing somebody saw. Anyway, that's kind
No,
of a perfect
that's
example of
so
that.
true. My husband, he will literally see stuff going by at a restaurant and he's like, "That looks good. That looks good." And he's like, "Wait, what is
Yes,
that person over at that table eating? That looks really good." Like that's why they put
yes,
pictures in menus though, if you think about it. It's like
it gets me
I
every time.
it gets me
Every
every
time.
time. I'm always like, "All right, that looks edible. I'll have that." But like, you see a drink go by and it's got like that crusty little stuff on the side and like that
Mhm.
dry orange thing on top and you're like, uh, so do you talk about, and you don't have to, do you ever talk about where you do bartend, like so that people will come in
I
and see you, or is that scary?
I do now. In the past, I never have. Um, because of that, I don't want people. Also always, you always see like I don't want like a bad review because somebody like didn't like
Mm,
the fact that like I made a skit that like hit too hard, too close to home. You know what I
right.
mean? But this is the first time I've ever shown where I worked because of the pipeline, the perfect pipeline of bartender, performer, online. I now work at a bar where I am bartending and performing consistently. So,
Oh, you're performing
yes.
at the
So,
bar?
yes. So, back in the past, I've worked at cocktail lounges, I've worked more clubs, I've worked like high end like restaurants. Like I've kind of done like a lot. I've worked like event centers. I've worked a lot of different places. But the place that I work now is like Coyote Ugly, but
Okay.
better in a way. So I bartend, it's high volume, but when you're not busy, they want you to go in the middle and do line dances and perform for everybody. I'm on the
Oh,
bar top doing dance routines like on the bar in front of everybody. And
oh my
so
gosh.
I film, I don't tell where I work being like, come and see me, but whenever I'm performing at work and I'm doing routines, I'm doing fake ID, I'm like doing like a movie moment or whatnot of choreography, I can post it online and it makes more sense because before, exactly what you said, ironically, that was always my fear when posting bar content is I didn't want to be like too stuck in that where it was like, oh, this bartender girl's trying music now. It's like it's kind of, you automatically just get that like it's I get it. I totally get it. So that's why like when I was doing my VAR videos, it made sense. Like my bio was always like funding her career one vodka cran at a time. So it like made a little more sense why you started to, if you like really paid attention, why music was a thing. But
Yeah.
then when I started working at the bar that I work now, I'm able to post myself doing dance routines, doing like playing my music over me doing things. And then it was kind of like, oh, well, the bartender's a dancer at work. So like that makes a little bit more sense why she would like get into music and bartending. So it was kind of like the perfect combination of
Yeah.
both ends of the pipeline that's why I show it is for that. And it's funny too because I feel I will have people that will recognize me, which always feels weird because it's like I know that I put content out online, but I really do put out content because I just truly enjoy doing it. Like nobody could watch it and I would still be putting it out. And people will come in, like sometimes they'll come in and they'll recognize me, but they don't quite know how. And I'll just let them kind of figure it out. Cause
Yeah.
I feel weird also being like, well, if you look up this name online, it's me. But I'll sit back and I'll be like, you know what? You're probably going to be walking down the street tonight and it'll hit you. Don't, I'm like, or I'll be like, or they'll be like, you really look like this bartender. I'm like, oh, who? And they're like, well, I don't know her name. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't know. Well, if you figure it out, like show it. Maybe, you know, she does look like me. Just let me know. And then I'll like go on. But it was funny too. The other day I was working and I got absolutely demolished. I would say I was by myself working this bar on a slow night and I got hit with 100 people at once, at least. It was intense. And
Online?
what happened?
Online, like on
No,
comments or?
no, like I was working the bar and 100 people came in.
Oh
And
God.
so it was a lot. And it's like 9 o'clock. We close at 2. I'm like, this is gonna be a long night. But anyway, so I am just absolutely hammering it out. And then all of a sudden one of the girls is like, I follow you on TikTok. And I'm like, oh no, like I'm like, thank you. I'm like, it's not usually like this. I'm not usually running around. I'd love to give you attention. What's your name? I always ask people what their name is when they say that. And I'm like, I'm not usually this chaotic. Like she was just watching me get handed to, but I always do appreciate that when people say that because I'm like,
I
hi.
know. I know. I was with my whole family and I got recognized one time. And actually, I've been with my family twice. One was in Mexico for all. They're like, I heard your voice and I knew it had to be you.
That's so
And the
cool.
woman was like, I wouldn't be here on this vacation if it weren't for you. I was like,
That's
what?
wild.
Wild. And the husband, I guess, was like, go say hi, go say hi, go say hi. And my husband and the kids were overhearing the two of them talking. And he's like,
Right.
go say hi to her. And I'm just like, in a bathing suit. And, you're not
It's
cute. You're just kind of like being on a family trip.
like,
But it was
hi.
really touching. Like she's
Mhm.
like, I would not be here. And he's like, she wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Because I guess she was like afraid of traveling or like wasn't doing the thing with her life.
Right.
And another time we were at dinner and she's like, can I come say hi to you? I follow you on Instagram. And my family just looks at me. But it's funny, they pick up when someone sees me because it's kind
Mhm.
of like the dragged out stare
You
kind.
can
You,
tell.
you can tell.
There was funny too. There was a story that I told a while ago too when I worked at this event job, and there was this girl. There were two lines. There was my line and then another girl's line, and there was the girl was in the other line, and she just kept going. And I'm like, and she's just like,
Right,
and
right.
she would kind of like then order a drink, and there was like no blinking, no moving. She was just kind of like staring at
Like,
me, and I'm like, can I help you? She's like, do you make TikToks? I'm like, oh, okay, okay. But it really was just this like, and you notice it too, because it's kind of like they'll be like,
yeah, it's a totally different stare. You know when you
mm-hmm,
know because they just kind
mm-hmm.
of drag the
It
vision
does,
like
it
a little,
does. Yeah,
and they
I'm
like
glad they
look.
told you that though. Like, how cool though
Yeah,
that it not only did they recognize you, but you had a like firsthand. You were the reason that they were there. So
that's
that's so
wild.
cool. That's so
It's
cool.
so incredibly powerful, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's something that I mean, the first time I've ever been recognized, and it's in Mexico, and it's by this woman, and it was just like, wow, like your voice really matters. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you're changing people, and like that's one thing when I look at all of your content is it, and I think that's the best. Like it's so deliberate
Mm-hmm.
and it's so like intentional, and I just think that as you move forward with this next step being deliberate and intentional with pushing yourself out there is so in
Yes.
alignment with just how you've gotten to where you're at today. I have to ask, what do your co-bartenders and, coworkers think of all of this? Cuz they're just like, I mean, being bartenders and living their life and here you are having this
Right.
whole energy over here that's happening.
Well, we don't actually really talk about it much. But I will say when I first started working there during orientation, because we all opened the place together.
Oh, okay.
It's only been open for about a year. So everybody that I've worked with for the most part has been there from the very beginning. I found out like weeks later that a couple of them recognized me online, but like didn't say anything. But it's funny too, because people will like subconsciously like say things where you're like, how would you know that if you never saw my stuff online? But I was like, okay. But now sometimes one of the biggest things too, what video did I do? I did a video recently. I think it was the kid, maybe like a year ago, the kid that I caught with fake ID, um, where my coworkers' kids will see my video and
Mm-hmm.
send them to that. Like my coworkers, like in her like early to mid 30s, and she has I think like a 13, 14-year-old. And she's like, yeah, she'll send me the TikToks because they'll come across her For You page. And they'll be like, isn't this the girl that you work with? And that's really cool stuff. That's when I'm like, ah, because there's no reason for me to be with like a preteen demographic. But then all of a
Right.
sudden I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's so cool. So everybody's been super great. Whenever like I said, when I did the song Rodeo, I had a couple girls I worked with come on like a girls trip so I could film content. We went line dancing. And so everybody, I will say this is truly the first place I've ever worked where there really is a super supportive community of women, and not just like I've worked, not that it's not like that everywhere, because I've had people who are nice, but there's just not that connection. And where I work now, there truly is, like, everybody supports everybody, is positive to everybody, and it kind of creates the best of both worlds, because now
Yeah.
I'm getting to live like a Coyote Ugly dream, but I'm also in a place where who I am isn't judged. Everybody appreciates me for who I am, and vice versa. And it's really cool. It's really nice.
Well, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I don't know the name of it. It's like a diner in New York City, and the majority, if not all, of the employees who are servers, etc., are Broadway or want to be
Yes.
Broadway. And so they do all of this, acting and singing and all of this during while you're eating. It's very
Right.
fantastic. And so it's kind of like it feels like you've stepped into the place where everybody supports it
Mhm.
and wants it and is watching it, and it's a part of the sinew of the place. So it's like,
Yes.
oh, and there she's doing her thing that makes perfect sense in this place.
Yes.
So yeah, it
Exactly.
sounds like the absolute perfect storm. So your new single Red Rum is now
Yes.
out, along with your music video, which everyone can find, which is insanely beautiful and sexy and all of the things inspiring. You cannot take your eyes off of you when watching this show. And your music is on Apple and Spotify and all of the good things.
Yes.
Where are we going from here? I mean, what's the next
Well,
step?
so it's interesting because it's not really linear in a way. I wish it was, where it was kind of like, okay, once you do this, then you do this, then you do this, and then you get this. It's not like that. So next step is going to be I want to do the music video for Rodeo. It's still right now putting out as much content of my music to hopefully just get seen. Because my biggest thing is once the person who is going to make everything happen sees it, if that's like a label, if that's whatever, if it's the algorithm, I think everything will take off from there, because I've backlogged enough music videos and content and a demo reel in a way to really show what I have to offer and what I want to offer just on my own. Um, but I'm constantly trying to record new music, doing music videos. I really want to do the music video for Rodeo, but I think the biggest thing is just submitting my stuff, putting myself out there, and just not giving up. I think that's the biggest thing, is not giving up. Every single day, doing something that inspires you, doing something that progresses your career, and it's just continuing to make music, continuing to do videos in any way I can, whether it's the social music videos that are, vertical and lower budget, or, working 7 days a week so that I can put out a professional one. I just know that one day it's going to happen when it's ready to happen, and I'm ready for it to happen. So just being as
Yeah.
prepared as possible is the best thing that I can do right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, and you're just doing you. I mean, at the end of the day,
Mhm.
you're just being the genuine person, the performer, the director, the actress, the dancer. Like, this is who you are. And I
Mhm.
think that that's like, you're not trying. I mean, you have to try, you have to put yourself out there,
Right.
but it's not like you
Right.
have to like bend yourself into a pretzel to become this
Mhm.
person that other people want you to be. And I think a lot of times that is what happens, is that someone sees someone and they're like, okay, we got to bend you into a, a way to be you. And it's like, no, this is the complete package. Do
Right.
you are you the type of person, the performer, that can go to a local place and just perform, or is it more of a production when you perform?
Production. So it's one of those things too, because it's interesting because I would work at places where they would have like lounge singers and they were like, well, why don't you do this? And it's like, well, I honestly, because I would make more money working on the floor than I would if I was singing up there right now. Like it's good for the soul, but right now if I'm trying to make money. But that the biggest thing for me though is the production value. Like if I'm going up, I want there needs to be dancers, there needs to be production. Is it possible to do it without it? Of course. But that's what sets me apart is that you don't really get that. And that's what I want to be able to give is like you are watching a performance every time. You are watching a spectacle. Um and so that's kind of where I come from more is I'm excited to be in a position where that's what I can give. You're getting something that you are not able to get anywhere else as well.
Maybe you suck them in with a ballad, though.
Maybe, maybe. You know what? Somebody did say to do a ballad once. It's just so hard. I'm just so like, but I want to put out the music and I want to do the dancing and things like that. But maybe that's
You know,
something
like
I'm
that Britney
excited for.
Spears. What's that Britney Spears? It sounds like a baby doll almost kind
Every
of
time.
sound.
Every
You
time.
know, maybe you suck them in with a ballad and then they find out you're this whole, you know, like Stained. They became
Hmm.
huge when he sat down on the steps with what's his name from Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst, and the lead singer Aaron Lewis he's just and they like sang it for the first time ever on the steps of a stage, and um, Fred Durst, and he's like, "We're going to sing this song," and he blew up rock heavy metal, but blew up because of Ballad, I think it was, and I mean, sometimes you suck someone in the face and be like, look them in the eye and do the thing, and then all of a sudden
Right.
they realize, no, wait, she's a whole ass package,
Right.
and she can do all of the things. So you might want to suck them in with a ballad, you know, like
You're
and
not the first one to say it, and so now I'm like, maybe I need to like step back for a second and do that. That could be really cool though. I write consistently, and one of the things I tell people all the time is I'm really excited about in my career is to have studio time where I just have weeks where I can come in and write and sing and not have to worry about time and just go. Because also, I mean,
yeah.
my even though I sing pop, I'm a huge 70s, 80s rock girl. Like that's my genre that I love. And so when I see things like a Fleetwood Mac, when I see all that, I'm like, oh, I would just love to just sit on carpet in a studio and just like write and sing and just like express. So that's something I'll definitely think about doing. And it's funny too, the same person who had said that was somebody that I was talking to about record labels and things like that. But it was funny because one of the things that this person had said to me was like, well, you don't, they're kind of all over the place and you don't really want to like do that because I tried to pitch a girl and they didn't know what to do with her. Like you have to come into the business already knowing who you are now. You have to come in knowing your sound, knowing your look, and already kind of having it done. And I sat there and I'm like, right, let's go. I'm like, right. So
Right.
we have exactly what we so it's funny because you hear different things from different people, but something's gonna hit and something's gonna happen. And I'm very fortunate
Yeah.
when it does.
So do you like tag all these record labels and producers when you put your stuff out there? Like, how does that work?
Yes. So sometimes I will. On some of my social videos, I'll ask people to tag certain things, but it's also hard because the record labels aren't really the ones running social media. It's like the people that they hire to do it. So it's kind of but that's also in my brain, especially when it comes to A&Rs. A lot of A&Rs are young. So I'm like, all it takes is for me to just come across someone's social media. And it's interesting because if you find A&Rs on like Instagram, they're usually not private and they usually have like 2,000 followers. So it's not hard. So I'm constantly sending things, doing things like that. I love the emails. I have a list of emails that I'll send things out to. Um, yeah, so there's different things to do, but everything's just kind of it really is kind of like a you need to come across the page of somebody or
Yeah.
already have a bunch of connections, but that's why I'm like put as much out as possible,
Yep.
engage. I have tagged couple people in my videos on Instagram, and then they stopped allowing people to tag them in videos on Instagram, but I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah. I'm so excited to like see all the dynamics that is you.
Mhm.
I put out a video recently talking about social media and social media etiquette. Like
Right,
when you come across your friends that you love their content, don't just like
right,
it, comment, repost it, because that's how it does get in front of the eyes of other people. Like when you repost something, that's like, hey, I want everyone to see you. Like I want everyone to
right.
know about you. And it's super important. So like when you start following Jaimie, repost her stuff, like share it to friends, share it, like it, comment it, longer comments the better, because
Yes.
that's how this whole thing works, and that's how we
Yeah.
get in front of the right people to create this. And you being on YouTube, I think that that's huge too, like cuz that's just
Mhm.
one more avenue, one more place that people are seeing you. Your videos are so unbelievable. I'm so impressed with you. I hope that you take this compliment to heart, because it is, you are just such an impressive woman, and you are just walking the path of a true star, like soup to nuts. You are a
I appreciate
star.
I appreciate
And
that.
in all the things that you do, like who knew you could make a bar video so damn awesome? So like that,
It's the theater kid in me. It comes out a little bit sometimes.
I just love it so much. So we have you on YouTube,
Yes.
Spotify, Apple, and it's
Mhm.
JaimieSteck.
Yes.
And that's on Instagram. Are you on Facebook?
No. I have
Or
a
as we call it,
Facebook.
the book face.
The book face, yeah.
The book
No,
face.
no, I don't really
So
have
you're on
Facebook.
Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. And
Yes.
TikTok, she'll get served up on your For You page all the time, because that's where I always get to see her.
It's so
And
cool.
like, even though they're bar videos, send them to your teens, because you've got information about everything, like being true to yourself
Mhm.
and like etiquette, and like all listening to that inner self. Like I love the fact that the 13-year-olds are following you, because guess what? It's just going to create better humans in the future for the rest of
Yes.
us.
Right.
So
I'm like, cool. I'm like, that's awesome.
I love it
Yeah.
so much. But thank you so much for sitting down with me today and sharing with everybody. If you want to go watch someone who has created and is creating a life for herself, and how that looks, and she doesn't have these big numbers of record labels. She's doing this grassroots. If you want
Mhm.
to see what that looks like, go follow Jaimie, because she is self-financing this. And any like, follow, save, repost, anything that you do, if you are listening or watching and you are in the music, world, and someone, go watch her shit, because I'm telling you this right now, you will be completely impressed and overwhelmed by the amount of just class and creativity and talent that you're seeing. So please share it. If you are out there listening, go follow her and share it to your musical friends, because you will not be disappointed at all. But thank you so much for being here, Jaimie. I so
Thank
appreciate you.
you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time, and thank you so much.
All right, guys, I'll see you here next time on TikTok Famous Podcast. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the TikTok Famous Podcast with Meredyth Willits. If you're loving the unfiltered stories and behind the scenes truths, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show. Until next time, let's get famous.